Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go. And welcome in to the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining me this evening. Got a great show planned for you. I'm going to introduce my podcast partner in the upstate. He is listed as Carolina Super Pot, but you can call him Carolina Jackpot. I'm going to call him Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday, hump day. Get your freak on.
Welcome.
What is
A rousing 8 people watching tonight from various parts of wherever the fuck. So thank you for being here.
Well, I think we'll have more people show up eventually.
The few of you that are here, thank you very much. Hit the thumbs up button if you are here on one of the few in attendance.
As we've got the numbers are creeping up there. Elijah is in Dawsonville. Jerome says, "Oh, we don't care. We don't care."
Oh, we don't care. We don't care.
Yeah. So we'll get into some stuff tonight. I'm going to read to you a text message that I got from a Georgia fan after Clemson went into their state and took the best player in the state, which now they claim they don't want. We didn't fucking want him to begin with. Fuck him. They thought that it was just going to be this guy was just going to show up, and because he's in the state of Georgia, he has to go to Georgia, right? Nah, he told Kirby Smart, go out there with your pissant golf visor, take your idiot defensive coordinator and go fuck yourself. I'm going to Clemson where I can get a better education and I can also have better fans and I don't have to listen to
frankly said none of that because
that's exactly what he did. And he told Mike Bobo, fuck yourself. If you play Clemson with him playing out there, he's going to make that Mike Bobo offense look like all of this is in the mix, by the way. And he's bringing back the mullet, Jackpot. How can you not like this kid, Jackpot? He's got a mullet. If you could grow a mullet, your ass would have one.
Spurs Up
You'd
show,
have the
dude.
best mullet ever. Now, Spurs Up show, that's a fucking toupee. He doesn't have a real mullet. This is a fucking real mullet for this kid. A real mullet. How could you not like this kid, Jackpot? He's Southern grown. Born from right here. You guys have chewed the same dirt.
I don't like him. He's going to be a
you don't like
player.
him. He South Carolina didn't offer him. They knew oh fuck, he ain't coming here. We can't get a player like that.
Now we're all in on offensive line recruits. We're all on a line of scrimmage for 2024 and skill position.
Real talk. Are you upset with the guys that are taking visits to Florida State that are supposedly Gamecock recruits?
That is fake news. That's photoshopped. It's already been determined.
Anyway, we'll read that text from a Georgia fan that was upset, but now is questioning this young man and his ability to play. But yeah, pretty funny.
Seriously, I heard they're there for some kind of 7-on-7 tournament or something.
Yeah.
What?
And by the way,
That's what they're there for.
Easy, sir.
No, you goddamn easy. Damn you. Seminole says USC juniors and FSU feeder pro. Yeah, whatever.
He does have a point.
Your coach is a damn trifling. What do they call that? Tampering asshole is what he is. He's fixing to get his. That actually in week 4, I think I'm going to pull for Clemson in that game. I really do.
Really?
I hope y'all kick the shit out of them.
No, well, you're not going to do that. No, that's
I'm telling you, man. I hope y'all kick the shit out of them.
Is it because he's a tamperer and he's getting some of your guys? Is that what's bothering you about this guy?
Getting some. He got some of our guys. He's not getting anything else.
Well, anyway, look, Florida State.
I mean,
you know,
I just don't like people who that it just seems slimy and underhanded. He's a slimy, greasy fuck. Just building things the wrong way. Just I don't like that. I don't like that. Taking the easy road.
yeah,
Taking the easy road.
yeah.
Everyone
Don't
get
need
kicked in
any
the
of that.
face.
Seminole Seth is wanting some jackpot attention. He says, first of all, let me put this out there. I have never seen Seminole Seth in any of our streams ever.
I've
So
seen him around before.
I've never seen him. We've done, I don't know, 400 streams together, and I've never seen the guy. You can rep your team, that's fine, but welcome to the program, sir. And he says, sorry, your best players want to play for the good guys.
So Juice Wells wants to. Okay.
I don't get all that. Here's what I like. Florida State fans are hilarious because they think that they're still the program that had Deion Sanders and Peter Boulware and Warwick and all those guys.
Warwick
You're not the same
Dunn,
program.
Chris Winkie.
You're not that same program.
28-year-old Heisman Trophy winner.
You've been Clemson's bitch for years. That's kind of where you are right now. So come with your hat in your hand.
Did he ever do anything in the NFL? Did he get drafted, or as soon as college was over, did he go straight AARP?
Who's that?
Chris Winkie.
He played for the Panthers. Yeah, he did. He played for the Panthers a little bit. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Must have been a very little bit. I don't remember it.
Brock says, in order for FSU to be the good guys, don't they actually have to be good?
That's an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. I have another question that's in my head too.
You got to beat somebody besides terrible Florida team and terrible Oklahoma team, and luck up against LSU. You shit the bed. But,
there's that. But how is it that they have avoided the I don't know the what's the term that I want to use, jackpot, for everybody that wants to rename everything?
Gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet of folks that want to rename all teams that have some Indian culture. I don't completely get that. I mean, they got the Washington Redskins, but you can still have the Florida State Seminoles they don't even send an Indian guy out on the horse anymore. It's a white guy that they paint, for God's sakes, and he chops along like everything else. They killed the Atlanta Braves for that. The Washington Redskins.
They never sent an Indian guy. It's always been a student.
That's what I'm saying, but it's always a white kid. It's never a full-blooded Indian kid.
Yeah. But
yeah. I'm just saying.
Bulldog 1776, thank you for the super chat. He says the cinnamon rolls are overrated. FSU.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority, and I know because I've lived in the upstate my entire life, that chop, and that that they were doing it before the Atlanta Braves. I have pretty good authority. They ripped that off originally. The Seminoles did from Gaffney High School here in the upstate.
I would believe that because everything about Florida State is fake. So, including their coach.
Jerry Wells says jackpot is Newberry still the Indians. Nope.
No. They are now
the Wolves.
The Timberwolves.
Something like yeah.
Yeah, they went from the Indians to the Wolves.
Miami of Ohio went from the Redskins. They went to the Red Hawks. St. John's was the Red Men. Was the Redmen? Wasn't that what St. John's was? Yeah, they're the Red Storm.
Let me address Peg and Megan's comment over here because he normally can't string together a sentence. He goes, Rob is now a politically correct twat waffle, so there's that. No, I don't agree with any of that at all. So I don't understand where you're coming from with that. I'm just wondering why they haven't come down on them like they have everybody else. It's a huge mess with all of that. I mean, you think of the trademark money that the Washington Redskins had and forever. And it's like who are we to determine what's going to be racist next week or offensive to someone next week with a lot of these things? You know, that is a mess. I mean, an absolute mess. So there's that. Seminole Seth says the Seminole tribe openly supports Florida State, and that's fine. I didn't really know that, and that's good for them. Good for them. I mean, I know that there were tribes that supported the Braves, but that wasn't good enough. We still have people pissed off about that. I think the crazy part is that they don't play the tomahawk music anymore. Fans still do it.
You know, interesting fact. I noticed this I found out the other day on Wikipedia just because I was interested. There were, I told you about when I was district manager with Variety Wholesalers that one of my stores was in Pembroke, North Carolina. I think I told you that. The town is 95% Lumbee Indian, and there's only it's weird. Like their last names are it's either Jernigan, Oxendine, Locklear, or Chavis. That's the only last names. But anyway, I remembered that Tatanka, who was ex-WWE superstar, that his real name was Chris Chavis.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, and I looked him up, and he was from Pembroke, North Carolina. Sure shit.
Mm.
So I mean, one time Tatanka may have come into that Maxway that I was a district manager over.
Ah. Well, there's that.
As a child, maybe could have been.
Maybe so. Let's see here. Sad news today. Yeah.
What the hell was that?
That is the Iron Sheik who passed away today, Jackpot. We've lost the Sheik.
Oh, Bubba.
Listen, don't be a jabroni. I have to come over there and break your back and make you humble. Don't be a jabroni, brother. Don't do that.
He was crazy. He was saying
he was crazy. He really was.
Huh?
He was batshit crazy. He really was.
Well, he gave some kind of interview or something one time. I don't know if he was high or whatever, but he was talking about one of the Killer Bees. Remember the form of the Killer Bees tag team? He said, "Oh, just jabroni, Jim Brunzell, 4-2, Shiki, the fuck you in the ass."
Yeah.
I'm like,
he would say shit like that, and you're like, "What the fuck is he talking about?
What is this guy talking about?" I actually, when I was a kid, probably 5, 6 years old, my mom, she used to kind of back in the day, she used to lift weights and stuff and work out, and everything. And we went to a men's and women's bodybuilding show in Atlanta, and I could barely remember it, but I just remember he was like the entertainment during the intermission. And he came out and he swung his clubs and he challenged a couple of the bigger dudes in the audience to go up there and say, come swing the clubs, and nobody could do it.
Yeah,
they just couldn't do it. And he just put them up over his head and just starts working out with these damn heavy. I don't know if they were that heavy or they were just cumbersome, and you had to be able to, it was more of balancing plus strength. So I don't know. Anyway, he was
look, he was special, and he was great. Of course, he was the true world champion. There would be no Hulkamania without the Sheiky brother.
You
Greg
remember
Hogan.
he he won the Legends Battle Royal at WrestleMania X7 in Houston back in 2001. I always remember that WrestleMania. I watched it. That was the one where Stone Cold Steve Austin turned bad. Remember, for like 2 weeks or something until they realized this isn't working. He can't be a bad guy. Everybody's cheering him. But anyway, my son was born 3 days after that. But he won that Legends Battle Royal because they said he couldn't go over the top rope.
Well, I mean, he's that was anyway. My favorite thing about him though was the whole thing with him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like getting arrested together, and they had to wrestle that night, which was kind of funny. But he was in our country for like 60 years. I think he came over when he was 17 or whatever, and he was 81 when he died, and never got rid of his accent. And his English was completely broken all of the time. So he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not going to learn the English. Fuck off. I'm the Iron Sheik. I'll do whatever the hell I want.
He wouldn't even admit that they were, buddies or whatever when they got arrested. It was like he just kept it, tried to gimmick it up. He said, Shiki don't have ride back to airport. He said, and Shiki no better than to take a ride from this dirty Hacksaw Duggan. He said, and play dirty trick on Shiki and baby and get Shiki arrested.
Yeah, it was. Vince McMahon told him, hey pal, you failed your drug test. Or no, your drug test came back positive. And he's like, good. Good.
Yeah, good. And he's like, no, that's bad.
No, don't do that. Anyway. So with that, we're gonna talk about some scheduling stuff tonight. Jackpot will also I've got to read this text message that I got from a Georgia fan who will remain unnamed because we don't like to rub people's nose in their pee-pee. We don't want to do that. But we'll do that in a moment. Let's thank Callaway's Bar and Grill in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. Go by, eat some wings, play some video games. Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. We also have a Storyside Stories with Jackpot from our good friend Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Jackpot, tell us a story.
All righty. Sucks to be a Gamecock. We were ranked 6th in recruiting at one point for the 2024 class. Now we are a program in decline. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Thank you, Dennis.
It's funny, folks. I was told that it's early, and that doesn't matter.
Well, that brings it back.
Funny the way that works out, huh?
Sir, respectfully, you are above the actual gene pool. You understand that. The majority of your fan base doesn't, because they're like, oh, we're 6th. We're better than Alabama. And we sat back and both of us said, hey, it's still a little bit early and things can change a little bit. And things have changed. Now, here's the thing, too. South Carolina has some targets that can move them back into the top 10, maybe the top 5 if they get them all.
Yeah, they only have 9. They only have 9 commitments so far.
Right. You're exactly right.
Well, probably 7 now, since those 2 are probably going to jump ship and go to Florida State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt that happens. But hey, the best part about that though is that there's still time. And that's why we're mocking it, because it can change in a matter of seconds. Also, you could be one of these players that you could be one of these teams that has players that are like, you know what? I'm going somewhere else. They haven't signed shit yet. They could flip in a nanosecond and go somewhere else. So all of these rankings truly don't mean much, not until they actually get there. And when they actually get on the field, can they actually play? Because as a Clemson fan, I can tell you, I remember the days of Roscoe Crosby and guys like that were rated as like, oh, this is the second coming. This guy's going to reinvent the Clemson Paul. That's how great this guy is. Then he comes in and he's hot dog water on a stick. You don't know much until you get those guys there and they actually get on the field and do something.
I
That's
think that Willie Corn was probably the biggest bust that Clemson signed.
You could go with that. Bulldog wants to know where Clemson stands in the recruiting rankings. Right now, they're 8th. They're 8th. That's where they are in the current recruiting rankings, which could change tomorrow, and they could be 12th. Or they could be 3rd.
Sancho says, if Jackpot of South Carolina beats Clemson, will you grow a skeleton? South Carolina's already beat Clemson enough this past year for me to grow 5 skeletons. And I haven't done it yet, so I doubt it.
Anyway, Elijah with a good point. Remember when Jarrett Guantanamo Bay was a highly rated recruit? Yeah, he was. And then how'd that work out for him? Not so good.
Great. He did good against the Gamecocks.
Hey, Jackpot, let's read this from Roll Tide. He goes, Rob, your thoughts on doing away with preseason rankings and starting the rankings after the 3rd or the 4th game of the season. Also make it mandatory those first 3 or 4 games have to be conference games. What do you think about that, Jackpot?
Doing away with preseason rankings and starting the rankings after the 3rd or 4th game of the season. That's interesting. I doubt it would ever happen. Just because, I mean, people like rankings. Also make it mandatory the first 3 or 4 games have to be no. Look, I wanted to go off a little bit. I was actually going to do a video on this today, but why not just talk about it on here? Some of my more favorite personalities off the YouTube and podcasting world have just gone apeshit the past couple of days. First off, Zach Smith, that podcast, The Minister of Sports, which also does it as a live show. They record it kind of like this, except to a much, much larger audience. But at any rate, they were naming like the best quarterbacks in each conference the other day. When they got to the SEC, I guess the best they could come up with was Georgia's quarterback,
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Peckerwood. The young man who's there with Zach, he's like, "Oh, Zach, did you forget that Spencer Rattler is still the quarterback at South Carolina?" And they laughed. He's like, "No, I didn't forget that he's still the quarterback at South Carolina, Mr. Inconsistent." That's fine. And they're sitting here laughing about Spencer Rattler. These people, them and the media everywhere, they just enjoy just taking a dump on this guy for no real reason at all. Look, some of the things he did last year in those last 2 games, it was pretty damn impressive. I understand that Tennessee didn't have a very good pass defense. We know this. But the Clemson game, if you'll remember, he shot himself in the foot a couple of times, threw a pick 6, threw an interception down the goal line, and still was able to rebound from that in the second half of that game, throw for almost 400 yards on you silly bastards, and win the damn ball game. Now, granted, last year's Clemson defensive backfield, you had some pretty good players back there, but that Clemson back into that defense had kind of feng shuied itself into a weaker version of what it normally is, but still a decent defense. So these people, that they need to understand, if you keep on, and this is something you need to remember. If you keep on taking a dump in the same spot over and over and over, eventually it turns into fertilizer and something beautiful sprouts up out of there.
Look, the stuff with Spencer Rattler, he is inconsistent, but the thing that gets me is that everybody is in love with Carson Beck. Let's just be honest on Carson
who's
Beck.
done nothing.
Exactly. What has Carson Beck done that makes you think that he is better than Spencer Rattler at this point?
Got some good receivers.
Who gives a shit? He's also with Mike Bobo, who is certifiably an idiot.
Exactly. And I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to bring that up. He ruined Bo Nix. Bo Nix hit the transfer portal. He didn't want to play around them anymore. So he didn't want to play for Brian. But then Mike Bobo was already gone, I guess,
Right.
by that time. This is a guy who didn't – what did he do against South Carolina after he, screwed up the damn offense there in 2020. I mean, screwed up as interim coach, terrible. And then what does he do? Packs up his Pinto in the middle of the night, runs off to Auburn, gets down there, plays South Carolina the next year, is a double-digit favorite. It's 4th and 1. You got the leading rusher in the SEC, Stank Bigsby. What do? You have your T.J. Finley throw a terrible pass on 4th down that either got intercepted or batted down. You had the SEC's leading rusher back there, and you're playing against the SEC's worst rush defense. What a brilliant offensive mind that guy is.
So here's the other thing, too. Carson Beck has thrown for 486 yards in his career. He may end up being great at Georgia. Here's what I do know, though. He couldn't unseat Stetson Bennett, who was called by some Georgia fans a dwarf, a midget, product of the system. I mean, whatever. Down the line, the guy won fucking games for them. Could be argued that he was the best quarterback to ever suit up there as far as with what he done.
They absolutely love the fact that they won 2 national titles in a row. They absolutely hated the fact that he was the quarterback that led them to it.
Chris Foster can't help himself. Milton will be better than Beck. Jesus Christ.
He might be.
He might be. Well, as of right now, he's done more.
His arm
he's done more than Beck. So there's that.
He led them to they beat Vanderbilt 56-0 last year. You can laugh about, it was Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt was coming off of 2 SEC wins. And Tennessee was coming off that embarrassing performance against the Gamecocks.
Bulldog 1776 says Beck will get 4,000 yards passing this year. I don't think so.
That's a stretch.
I'm going to take the under. Seminole Seth has
and for no other reason other than, they just don't – Georgia just traditionally just doesn't throw the ball around that much. Their offense is really balanced.
Yeah, well.
Now, granted, you got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Seminole Seth says Milton will play well in that gimmick offense.
What? He's going to put up numbers. Every quarterback that Josh Heupel's has.
It's like Texas Tech. When Texas Tech would put up big numbers, you could put a middle schooler back there and he'd throw for 150 yards. It's just a gimmick, man. That's all it is. Elijah says 3,300 yards, 26 TDs, and 8 picks for Carson Beck this year. Okay, then. Look, he's going to be surrounded by talent everywhere. There's that. But most Georgia fans, if they're honest, they'll tell you, you know what? I don't know. Maybe Mike Bobo is not really the answer. Maybe. Now, the dum-dums will come at you with, well, last time he was the offensive coordinator of Georgia. Look what he did. They had the top offense here and there and everywhere else. Yeah. Then he went to Colorado State, and there was stuff about him being a shit show there. Then he goes to South Carolina, and they're a shit show there. Then he goes where? He went to Auburn, right?
Packed up the
had the best running back in the conference. They were the shits. You guys think he's going to be great? Cool. We'll see how that works out. Maybe he'll be great. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they're going to be missing Todd Monken more than they know.
I mean, it may get so bad they may tell Muschamp to go call offensive plays. That might happen.
I don't think it's going to get that bad. You don't want him anywhere near the offensive side of the ball. Nowhere near it.
Nowhere near it. You're right. All right. Well, we have that, and that was I wanted to I said this to Jackpot about I'm going to take some calls here in a second, but from 247 Sports, it was talking about the most favorable 2023 schedules. Even the SEC apologists are saying, hey, the Georgia schedule is kind of the shits this year. But here are some other schedules that they think are going to be favorable, Jackpot. I'll hit you some of these. Nebraska at number 9. They play at Minnesota, at Colorado. Home games with NIU, Louisiana Tech, Michigan, at Illinois, Northwestern, Purdue, at Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa. That's okay. I mean, some of those teams might be better. Let's look at some of the other teams that are on.
Well, now that Michigan, Nebraska, read that again slower. You have to slow down a little bit because I'll
slow down a little bit. I'm sorry. All right, so at Minnesota, at Colorado, Northern Illinois at home, Louisiana Tech at home, Michigan at home. They go to Illinois. They go to Michigan State. They go to Wisconsin. They also have games with Northwestern, Purdue, Maryland, and Iowa.
And theirs was one of the easiest?
That's what it's saying, yes.
Doesn't seem easy to me. I mean, you got Wisconsin. You're playing Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. They're at Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good point. Bulldogs 1776 is not UGA's problem. The rest of the SEC East is horrible. Good point, sir. Been saying that for a long time. You're right. Absolutely right. Here's Virginia on the list. They play Tennessee.
Oh, do we know who they lead off with? They got a weak schedule, but continue, please.
Tennessee, James Madison at Maryland, NC State at home, at BC, who Big Barney Ross will tell us they're overrated. William and Mary at UNC, at Miami, Georgia Tech at Louisville, Duke, and Virginia Tech.
I mean, it looks like most of their tougher games are on the road. James Madison, I think, will probably beat them.
Would not surprise me.
I mean, okay, well, I mean, I guess you can make a – and then Tennessee and a neutral side, I mean, doesn't really seem that easy of a schedule to me either. I don't know.
Georgia is at number 3 on the list. They've got UT Martin.
It's the worst schedule ever.
Ball State, South Carolina, UAB. They go to Auburn. They play Kentucky at home. They go to Vanderbilt. They play Florida and Jacksonville. They've also got Missouri, Ole Miss. They play Tennessee, and then they're at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC scheduling gods were just pretty good to them this year, I guess. You know, the way
that they lined up. I mean, when you look at their SEC portion of their schedule, yeah, they've got to go to Auburn. But, you know, Florida's in Jacksonville. That's the standard there. I guess your toughest conference game. I mean, we don't know what the hell Auburn's going to be. I venture to say their toughest conference game as we look at it right now would be the Tennessee game, followed by South Carolina. The rest of it's kind of like, yeah, all right, you got a bunch of 6-win teams there. So there's that. Yeah,
the Kentucky man will say it would be the game against Kentucky, but we all know that to be bullshit.
And then finally, number 1 on the list is the Louisville Cardinals. They get Georgia Tech, Murray State. Racers are a problem there. Indiana at a neutral site. Boston College. They play at NC State. They're at home for Notre Dame. They go to Pitt. They play Duke, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Miami, and Kentucky. So
Yeah, I could buy that.
yeah. All right, so there's all of that stuff. Let's add some folks to the thing here. Big Barney Ross says Louisville couldn't beat the Amish. Here we go. There you go. Link is in the thing there. You want to get involved? Have at it. If you want to talk about the recruiting stuff, we can get into that. If you want to talk about the baseball stuff, Gamecocks play Florida this weekend. Yeah, can they actually win that and go to Omaha? That would be a hell of a thing there for the Gamecocks, right, Jackpot?
That would be outstanding. However, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Mark Kingston still needs to go. Yeah, still an idiot, shithead, and it's not a very good baseball coach.
If they get to the College World Series, Jackpot,
If they get to the College World Series, he's safe.
Yeah, is he back in your good graces if they get to the College World Series?
The team and players are in my good graces. He's not. He is the Will Muschamp of the baseball diamond. That's all he is. That's all he ever will be.
That's not fair, sir. I
mean, he is the Will. He is. He's an excuse maker. He always wants to talk about the past. He wants to talk about, well, you know, look at what we did in March and April. I mean, you know, and that kind of just has that same ring to it of the, well, are you forgetting this staff won more games our first 3 years here than anybody?
He didn't
one in the same.
He didn't support a coach that actually killed a kid. He didn't do that.
We don't know that.
I mean,
he's just not as open with his dumbassery.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go in the realm of saying that he's as bad as Muschamp, because I think Muschamp is one of the worst head coaches ever. All right, let's see here. Let's go out and welcome in Peg and Megan. Peg and Megan, how are you, sir?
Both of you two owe everybody listening an apology.
What do you owe an apology for?
Before
you tell us, let me make sure that I'm not apologizing for shit, because everything I've said has been factual. But go ahead.
Everything's been factual. You know, what a testament you two are to public education in the state of South Carolina. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Sure.
But if you're listening, if you'll think back, what was Rob saying about Kirby Smart in, I don't know, 2019, 2020, 2021 rolls around?
The same thing everybody else said. He couldn't win a big game. He had 10 times the talent of everybody else and couldn't win the big game, which was true.
Game. Yeah, and he had already won an SEC championship in his second year.
Is that a national title or not?
Is that a big game?
That he had, with the talent he had, he should have 4 national titles.
Is that a big game or not?
A big game to who?
Yeah. Okay. What
national titles are what people play for, sir.
What a stupid game we're playing here, Rob. My point is this.
It's a stupid game we're playing. It's national championship.
What you're saying right
now. Hold on, sir. Do you or did you not have national championship talent on that team?
We went up against a better team and unbelievably talented.
Can you answer the question, or are you just going to spin like a washing machine?
Not
did
that
you have
year.
National championship talent on that team?
Alabama had more. Period.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Period. They did.
All right, go on with whatever you got there, Peg.
So then it was, this idiot, he's hired Will Muschamp. You know, he's going to tank the program. But what happens? National title. You know, so now here we are with Mike Bobo, and George is stupid for hiring him. And then when you said, the dummy Georgia fans will come at you with what? Facts? That's what you're afraid will come at you with? Facts?
Yeah. Facts. Tell us about the last 3 seasons where he's been an offensive coordinator. Is that if he has that kind of offense at Georgia, how long before they throw the real estate signs in his yard?
You talking about the talent hotbed of Colorado?
What the blue fucker is? I just looked at the screen. Is that your nose?
Yeah.
You look like Pinocchio on crack, sir.
Yeah, I've had a long day.
What's going on with you?
Listen, your sister's over here. Your sister's over here. It's been a long day. We're both tired.
I'm sure it is.
my point is this.
Sure.
Every time you guys say something, you run a coaching to the ground, we turn around and win a national title. So you may just want to chill with all that. And by the way,
Look,
let's all have a round of applause for Rob.
So what we're saying is it's the talent around him, not him.
Yeah. And by the way, I have said that he is a good defensive coordinator. Bobo is not a good offensive coordinator.
Okay.
It has left him, sir.
Is it?
Left him.
Hey, real quick,
Absolutely.
who's got the best odds to win a national championship this coming year?
I mean, it's based on the defense.
Okay. You're proving my point. Hey, let's all have a round of applause
you
for
have,
Rob.
You have a quarterback that has 476 total yards passing coming into the season with an offensive coordinator that had the best running back in the conference, but ended up finishing like 10th in the conference in total offense.
Yeah,
let's see how that works out for you.
You're talking about a second string who, by the way, you were busting on him for not being able to unseat a Heisman finalist quarterback. That's brilliant analysis there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go look back into the archives for this program and look back to the first week of the season and find the wonderful things that this gentleman said about Stetson Bennett on this program. And now he's calling him a Heisman finalist.
Only to be outdone with what you were saying in that same program, Rob.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
He
nonsense.
was a Heisman finalist. That's a fact.
Yeah, he was a Heisman finalist, but he was never quite good enough for the Georgia program. Winning all those national titles, and you still hate him.
Are we going to celebrate your prize recruit, Samantha Brown?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I read? This is a perfect time to read the text that I got from a nameless fan, because I don't like I don't like rubbing people's nose in this stuff. But let's see here. Here. Let's see here. Here. Make sure I read this correctly, Jackpot. Fuck you, your coach, your shitty team, that homo slide, and that fag rock. To which I respond, what is wrong with you? No, you sorry fuckers landed Sammy Brown. How anyone would choose Sniffle Sweeney over King Kirby, I'll never know. I mean, these Georgia fans were upset. I mean, really, really upset. Yeah. It was pretty funny. Now, this kid may end up being the best linebacker ever, or he could end up, selling insurance in 2 years. But the fact that he didn't go to Georgia is like a spur in their side, and it just makes me happy. It really does.
I don't know what we'll do for talent on defense now. No, word has it that
so Georgia didn't want him, is what you're saying? You want to go on record with that now so we can laugh at you later?
Never said
Georgia.
that.
Well, if you'll remember, you guys went into the state of Georgia about 8 or 9 years ago and picked up a quarterback named Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, they didn't want Deshaun Watson. They didn't want Trevor Lawrence. Oh no!
Yeah, and he ended up going on Instagram looking for people to finger his prostate.
Yeah, I believe that was Rob. That was your boyfriend who made that decision. You
know what y'all did to him
on Mark Richt, right?
I don't know why you want to make fun of Mark Richt, sir. He's a man of God. Why do you not like Jesus?
Yeah, okay.
You don't like Jesus?
Congratulations on finally winning something after the SEC's beat you in everything from football to yard darts for the last 2 years. Sure. You finally got a recruit. Word has it that he actually was going down that slide and got a tingle up his twat, and that was a selling point for you guys. Hopefully he'll be fast enough to chase down Dickless Harbor.
Listen to this crying. He's crying like someone kicked him in his butt. It's great.
Hopefully he'll have the speed to chase down Dickless Harbor and that albino quarterback for the Gamecocks.
Cry louder, sir. Cry, 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 cry.
The albino quarterback's not going to be around by the time that.
By the way, before you leave the program here, I have a bold prediction for tonight, and I want to make sure that Peg and Megan is here for this. I think Spencer Rattler will throw for more yards against Georgia than the Georgia quarterback, whoever it's going to be, because it may not be Carson Beck. We don't know. Is going to throw against South Carolina in that game. I think Georgia's still going to win the game, but I think Rattler will throw for more yards.
Okay, well,
there's my bold prediction.
Obviously, we've got the archive to go back to. Rob, I want to make a bet with you right now on that, and you name the price right now. Name it, And it's embarrassing.
I don't know. You actually join the program and actually show us your face and not just that snout. How about that?
So you won't do it.
I just said that's what I wanted. Come on the program and show us your face. Don't hide behind and do what Georgia fans do and hide behind a sheet or whatever it is you guys do. Put your face on the program, sir.
Yeah, it's not the Georgia fans that hide behind sheets. We know that happens up in Clemson. But anyway,
Please.
Facts.
Anything else, sir?
43-18, Rob.
You have a wonderful day, sir. As Peg and Megan joins the show.
Love it when he calls.
There you go. R says albino are good people.
Yeah, he said, don't get racist on us. Didn't we have that debate like last year when somebody insulted him by calling him an albino, and we determined that was not, in fact, a racist term?
Yeah, we asked the wife about that. Honey, albino is not a racist term, is it? Yeah, it's more like a disability. Yeah, we Oh, well, that doesn't make me feel good. We go to the person with the 2 college degrees sitting over here. She said it's not a race, it's a genetic disorder, but if you're making fun of it, you're still a bigot. So I guess we're bigots.
Yeah. She's a walking Funkin' Wagnalls.
Yeah. She knows all kind of stuff. So
she knows her shit.
Joe Higashi wants me to eat 3 Snickers bars with Grey Poupon. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you, sir?
You can't keep up with him.
Jesus.
He's on 4 forms of crack tonight.
Roll Tide says the PC name is Melatonin Deficiency People.
Oh, God. Is that like midgets are vertically challenged?
I don't know. I don't know. What to see on that.
Look who's going to get yelled at again.
I'm not going to go with some of the comments that are over there. My goodness. All right, so let's see here. I added the link in there if you want to get involved with the program.
I got a new butt cushion.
Seminole Seth says vertically challenged.
We got a new butt cushion.
Look, I'm not being the PC police or whatever. I just honestly I didn't know. The wife says that it's not good though. So we'll go with that. Ziggy on the couch gonna get Jackpot some dirty looks later. That's not good.
No, it's not coming back out. You know he has a game. You notice he has a Gamecock bow tie.
Of course he does.
See that? That's a super regional bow tie.
Super regional bow tie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys want to get into the program, I posted the link there. Thanks to Peg and Megan for joining the show. We appreciate that. You guys are always welcome to join in.
You know, you can't say anything negative or criticize Georgia one way whatsoever. Or challenge anything they do or say, lest ye shall incur the wrath.
What are they going to do? Take my birthday away?
Billy Sam, thank you for the super.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for the super chat. It says, do you guys need capital dollars? Rob can't use a DJ board to save his life, and Jackpot needs Bud Light in a bubble bath.
Would you take a Bud Light bubble bath, Jackpot?
You know, to be honest with you, I've dropped a few pounds, but I'm too big to fit in our bathtub like that. And before anybody starts laughing at me, it is small and it's not like a bathtub built for an adult to take baths in. It's like more of a kid's size.
Honey, Jackpot just informed me that he has lost some weight but still can't fit in his bathtub.
I can't, and I'm not even a tall person, and I'm cramped up if I do. It's a shower, basically. It's really a shower with a concave floor.
So there's that. The wife wants to know if we're actually doing a real show or if we're just doing a show with middle school kids. That's not. I mean, we're not middle schoolers.
They're actually rising sophomores.
Rising sophomores. That's funny. Elijah says, "Thank you for that imagery. I'm going to take a bath with a toaster now." Jesus, sir. The Rob and Kale show does not condone any of that. You will not. We do not want you to take a shower with a fucking toaster. Do not do that to yourself, sir. Brock says you're not allowed to criticize King Kirby, Rob. Look, Georgia fans, you're on top of the mountain right now. So I don't understand how any of this could bother you. You've won back-to-back national titles. I mean, but Georgia fans should also be in the realm of there's changes now. The guy back there taking snaps that a lot of us hated, he's not there anymore. Also, the guy that was calling plays, he's not there anymore. Now we've got a certified dum-dum that's been a failure the last 3 places he's called offensive plays. That's
a liar.
And a liar. And didn't they have issues with like mistreatment of players at Colorado State, Jackpot, if I remember correctly? There was something going on up there. I mean, he's a piece of shit coach. Let's just be honest on that front. But he's over there with Muschamp, who defends murderers, so good luck to all of them. That's just the way that it is.
Not me says that Bud Light wrecks the colon. Okay. Apparently, Iron Sheik wrecked a few colons back in his day too.
But don't be a jabroni, brother. Don't be a jabroni. See, here's another dumb comment from Peg and Megan. UGA lost their whole defense, can't win it again. 15-0. Yeah, you should go 15-0. You have all that talent, sir, and you play what even the SEC apologists, the people who tell you that, man, the conference is the toughest ever, they even say your schedule is bullshit. You should go 15-0. If you lose a game on that schedule, I mean, something bad has had to have happened. You should win every one of those games by at least 10 points.
Yeah, something else I wanted to filibuster on a little bit that I thought was absolutely idiotic. And it was from someone who normally has pretty good takes, that being one Josh Pate of 24/7 Sports on his Late Kick Live show. Well, just talking, all the talk's been about the SEC, the 8-game or the 9-game conference schedule, which way they're going to go. Obviously they decided they're going to remain at 8 games. He said that, and this is, I thought it was just dumb, that he eventually would like to see the thing go to an 8-game conference schedule, but with the 4 out-of-conference games that they have to play Power 5 teams. That to me is just a little bit ridiculous. I mean, these teams need more than one off week, more than one bye week a season. And, that game that you schedule against, Ball State or whoever, it kind of affords you the opportunity to where if you need to, you can start Jimmy Horowitz at left guard from, Kokomo, Indiana, by way of junior college, second or third stringer, to get your starter some rest. Also, if you take away these games against the SCS teams, I don't champion for doing it more than once a year, but those FCS teams enjoy a pretty nice payday from playing a Power 5 team on the road. I mean, you're going to take that away from them. They use that money for, uniforms. I mean, stadium upgrades. I mean, you name it. Anything that has to do with the football program, I mean, they're using that money. So that just seems to be a little bit far-fetched and rather dumb, in my opinion.
All right, well, let's welcome in Philly fan. Welcome to the program. That would be you,
Thank
sir.
you.
How about- What you got? What's going on, man?
Well, I gotta say, you guys have I mean, what's going on with this live stream?
Are you high? What's going on over there, buddy?
What do you mean?
Do you have something that you would like to say? At least Peg and Megan came in here, stuck his nose on the monitor, and spewed nonsense. I mean, I mean, he's dumb, but we like it when people come in and they have something there they want to add to the program. And then he left. I didn't cut him off. Apparently, that was too much.
Rob, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I did not touch him. You're the dog says Philly fan was drunk as fuck. Okay. Thanks for joining the show. Thanks for joining the show, sir. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Put another thing back out there one more time before we get out of here. Oh, there's Philly fan again. All right, let's try this again. All right, now welcome to the program, sir. Hello.
There's a little bit of a feedback loop. That's the problem.
Okay. Okay, what you got, man? Go ahead. I think it's because the latency in your headphones there. But anyway, go ahead. You muted your mic, sir. Don't mute your mic. Okay. All right. It says that your mic is not connected, sir. When you took your headphones out, you muted your mic.
Now is that better?
There you go.
Yeah.
What do you have for the show,
You guys
sir?
have all the fucking answers. I appreciate it. So does your crowd and everything like that. I was actually trying to get in here and just hang out with you guys. You guys are pretty cool. I appreciate the content you guys put out. And I know Rob used to interview Muschamp.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever get to interview Dabo?
I've interviewed Sweeney twice.
Yeah, he cried both times on Rob.
Yeah, no.
He cries a lot.
You step into that arena, I'm a different person. I think the only person that I've interviewed that I was like, where I felt like, oh, wow. Actually, two of them, like Joe Montana, interviewed him, and it was like, wow, this is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. That kind of weighed on me a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Everybody else, I'm like, they wear pants like I do, so.
Yeah, but see, Rob, you're kind of like a wordsmith at the microphone, so you're really good at like cutting people off. What I'm trying to say is this: Dabo, if we're like looking at it from like a financial standpoint, as far as like stocks and investments and things like that, you got to sell that fucking stock because Dabo, Clemson, that whole thing. I may be wrong, but I think it's going downhill quick.
Cool.
But I respect
I'd agree with that.
Even as a South Carolina fan, I root for Clemson, except when they play South Carolina, and I mean that.
Sure.
But I'm sick and tired of this Dabo thing. Like, who the fuck is Dabo? I'm Dabo Sweeney. Like, who the fuck is he? You know, it's like he's a really good, sociopath type of character who's like good at CEO type shit, but I don't know. I want Clemson to achieve something with a different type of head personnel. Do you agree, Rob? Are you good with are you gonna hold the Dabo stock or are you selling?
So he's a sociopath?
They call them a sociopath.
Man, when you get into the high level of these sports type of things, I mean, I don't know if they feel much empathy. They're very much so, motivated by power, and they're very political. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by that.
Let's see here. Devin says this guy is not real. Frothy Tavern says this is getting weirder by the second. Tilly says that's what a head coach is, bruh. Look, Dabo Sweeney's like one of the winningest coaches in Clemson history. He's won 2 national.
They're all Clemson fans. Okay, I get it.
No, they're not all Clemson.
No, they're not. We really don't have many Clemson fans here.
No, I have to carry the Clemson flag on my own. It's just me and Peg and Megan, who is in the closet. He is a absolute huge Clemson fan.
I thought he was
want
a Texas A&M man.
He was a Texas A&M fan, but he sold his allegiance and Clemson picked it up. It was in the transfer portal, and now he's a Clemson fan.
Gosh,
So
it's
it's just
going
me-
from Texas
me and
A&M
Megan.
to Clemson. What a downgrade!
By all means, I am weird and awkward and that and all that. You know, I really am. But to be honest, with the Dabo and the Clemson thing, I think like if you had like a term for washed up for head coach, Dabo just kind of fits that. And I'm not trying to be rude to Dabo. He'd probably agree if he was he'd probably say, yeah.
Sir, the term would be washed up.
Yeah, be washed up. He's past his prime. He knows it. Like,
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, he's the 2007 edition of Bobby Bowden.
I don't even know where to go.
well, I wasn't following college football that far back.
Oh goodness. Oh man.
Well,
But I
was,
was in
and they're kind of one and the same.
Cool.
But I will say this: as
Sure.
far as Carolina heading down to Florida to play in the Super Regional, that's fucking exciting. That's
Yeah,
pretty
not
be
so
honest.
not so sure. I'm real thrilled with the matchup, but
It would have been better at home, obviously. Mark Kingston, though, I think someone said that Mark Kingston is comparable to the Muschamp of football or something.
Jackpot said that.
Jackpot, you got to elaborate a little bit about that one. That's quite a claim.
it's just it more all comes from just like the interview style. Muschamp like to make excuses. Kingston likes to make a lot of excuses. Muschamp likes to talk about something he accomplished in the past when he's getting his face kicked in the present. Kingston does the same thing. Generally disliked by Jackpot, which was Muschamp. And this gentleman also generally disliked by Jackpot. So they are one and the same to me.
But Carolina, do you go by Jackpot or do you go by Carolina? Or you probably have a first name that we just don't know.
Well, I mean, I said his first name at the beginning of the show. He doesn't like to be called late for supper, and he doesn't like to be called asshole. But we'll go with just Jackpot or Carolina. Someone called him Supper Pot earlier.
You can call me Kale. You can call me
That's
Kyle.
what it is, Kale. That's
You
right.
can call me Dale, but don't call me Jackpot.
Essentially, Kingston at this point, at least, he's done more than Muschamp comparatively. I mean,
Well,
Muschamp
to be fair, Kingston, if you're comparing those football rosters to this baseball roster, if you know, I know it's an apples to oranges comparison, but these baseball rosters are much more talented than the football rosters were under Muschamp, and that's even with Deebo Samuel on them. Would you agree with that, Rob?
Can of worms too. That actually opens up another can of worms. You're talking about Brian Edwards. You're talking about Deebo Samuel. Muschamp.
No. Kingston has had more talent on his team than Muschamp ever had. So there's that. I mean, they were top 10 recruiting classes all through the Kingston era. So except for the past 2 seasons, they've been in the top 10. So he's had more talent than Muschamp ever dreamed of having. So there's that.
Rob, it's tough because I don't want to be an asshole to you, but it's tough because you're the Clemson fan.
I don't care. You're not going to hurt
an
my
asshole to him.
All right, good.
You're
Yeah,
not
because
gonna
you
hurt
want
my
mine.
In fact, he yearns for it.
And Pagan Megan, is that how you say his name? Her name?
Yeah,
His name?
the other Clemson fan that watches the show. Yeah, he you could be rude to him too. You can't hurt his feelings.
No, I don't want to be rude to him. He's funny.
That guy drinks battery acid and everything. He has no soul. So whatever you want to spew at him, have at it.
He made me laugh. He said some shit the other week where I don't know, but he had so many comebacks for you, Rob. He was whooping that ass verbally.
We
he had him. It was funny.
We throw things back and forth at each other. That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
did, but Pagan Megan was whooping that ass. He was a
he
couple
looks
steps ahead.
he looks like he's a poster boy for prophylactics. We know that. And was obviously adopted and is now he's a Clemson fan now. We had some room on the fan base for him because he was a Georgia fan, then he was a Texas A&M fan.
Damn.
And
Was he really?
now he's
Georgia to A&M.
He's all over the place. Yeah, he's all over the place, man. He really is.
Well, he might need to get that figured out and pick a team. But I'll say this: being a Clemson fan,
he's also one of those fans that, like, if you talk about pro stuff, he likes the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Yankees. And I mean, he's one of those types. He only likes the gooder ones. He's one of those.
Like
Whoever
he might
wins
be
the championship this year. Like he probably bought like a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. He probably runs that around. He's probably a Chiefs fan now.
He's like a Patrick Mahomes fan. He probably doesn't like Jackson Mahomes.
He loves all of that stuff. Like
he buys like Tesla stuff.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Well, Rob, I got to ask though, as a Clemson fan, it must have been so much fun to be a Clemson fan like 3-4 years ago. But now,
I mean, it's I've been a Clemson fan for a lot longer than that. The Neon Green days and everything else. So it's going to be a fan regardless, whether we're great or not.
He's the best quarterback in the state for a while.
The guest. That's your special ability. Carolina's special ability is drinking a lot of fucking beer and then getting on a live stream. But anyways, Rob, what I was trying to say is, how do you feel about the regionals? Because that went fucking wrong for Clemson. That shit pissed me off, and I don't even root for Clemson except under certain circumstances. And
I think Clemson had a good season. I think they played a little bit above their heads, and they did a lot better than I thought they were going to do. I mean, at one point they got swept by UCF, and UCF ran down the hill like a bunch of jackasses. So, I mean, that's where they were at one point of the season. They ended up being one of the top 4 seeds in the country. I think Coach Badich will have them right in the coming years. So we'll see.
No, they did what they do in June. It's typical. I mean,
sure.
It's like the sun comes up in the morning. I mean,
Look, you can say that until somebody actually does something to change it. Like South Carolina's been a historically shitty football program for a long, long time. And until they actually win something of relevance, I mean, you could say the same thing about them.
See, Rob, it's so hard, and I hate it. I hate that you're the only Clemson fan on this. Like, I like you. I like your personality.
There's 2 of us. Peg and Megan's here. You can.
He's not in. I don't see him, so he's not like a.
He's over there. He's listening. He's over there. He's listening. He's got his happy rags. He's ready to go.
But what I'm saying is that I get, like, you're saying Carolina hasn't won shit, and Carolina has, and you know where I'm going with this. And we went into Death Valley, and we kind of beat that ass in front of the home crowd, and it was unexpected.
Awesome. Yeah, it certainly was.
I'm not trying to be an ass. You guys came in and beat Carolina, beat the brakes off of us 3 years in a row at home. I had to go to those games. It was fucking torturous.
Well, to quote a great Gamecock YouTuber, it was nothing that Clemson did. It was what South Carolina didn't do. So
exactly.
I mean, Carolina Jackpot's going to say what he's going to say, but in the day, Clemson came in and whooped that ass. They were more physical. They had better players.
Well,
that had nothing to do with it. It was about what South Carolina.
They weren't more physical. We weren't prepared.
Yeah.
Well, well, okay. Well, y'all also had Deshaun Watson. I don't know what's going on with his massages.
That can be, like that's not saying we weren't prepared. Just in the game plan that we weren't prepared physically for the season, and then that led into that game as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jerry wants to know if you're a Temple football fan and a fan of Bill Cosby, sir.
Who wants to know that?
I didn't say it. It's what. Look, there it is. Jerry said it. There you can see it.
Football fan or Billy Cosby fan? Well, tell them no for each, but I know Temple's Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so
they are.
I guess if you got something to say, Jerry, there's your opportunity.
Well, or you could just tell them what Jackpot says. You can follow me on Twitter over here, and we can have an adult conversation. We can do that.
Well, of
Well-
course. I mean, Jerry Wells, if you got something to say, fucking pop up on the show. I mean, come on.
Philly fan, do you have anything else that you would like to add to the program, sir?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's in experimental psychology, and I also have a master's
What
in.
the fuck good does that do us here, sir? Are you going to take your diplomas and hang them up behind you?
I'm just
What the hell are
fucking
you
with y'all.
talking about?
Yeah,
just
great.
fucking
We're
with
not
y'all,
going to be able to give you a raise today, though.
That's okay. Hey, but is it possible? Hey, can you maybe? Well, I don't know. It's just fun bullshitting with y'all. So maybe sometime, we get all bullshit. Peg and Megan. I don't know.
Well, Peg and Megan can't leave the state he's in. His parole officer won't allow it, but we could probably do something.
All right,
Neither
man.
was
Whatever.
Pinto.
All right,
How
brother.
do
You
I
stay
reach out to y'all? Is it through super chat or do I gotta send like a YouTube direct
you can-
message? Or-
there, you can do super chats. You can
You
do.
can't send YouTube direct messages anymore.
You can't. I didn't know that.
No, that used to could. They disabled that function years ago.
All right, Philly fan. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining
Thank
the
you.
show.
Yeah. Y'all take care. Bye.
All right, there you go. Philly fan joining the program. Big Barney Ross has a master's in golden tea. Brock says he met Bill Cosby one night at a bar. It was the best sleep he ever had. All right. Well, anyway, Jackpot, do you have anything else you'd like to add to the show, sir?
I don't, but my back cushion was beckoned off of the couch a while ago by Mother, and he left, but he has returned. I see.
It's been a fun show tonight for an off-season show. So we appreciate you guys. And,
Without question.
we'll catch you later on.